brings back a few memories, doesn't it?
A little bit of tropical vibes. We've got a little video as well, actually.
Yeah, there
it is on the side screen.
Dancing around the kitchen and stuff like that.
Look at this.
Front row seats, you got here early, didn't you, darling?
I love this. Well, Ainsley, we're not quite in the Caribbean down here. We're heading to Spain. So, what are we looking forward to tonight?
Well, we're looking forward to a bit of Mediterranean food. Do you like a little bit of Mediterranean stuff, eh? Get some of those things deeper into your bodies and stuff like that. Wonderful. I'll tell you what I'm going to be doing for you. I'm going to be doing something like a charred orange. Now, so many of us, I don't know about you, Dan, but when you think of orange, you probably think of orange in a bit of a salad or something like that. Or
I don't really eat salad, I mean. I don't know, I kind of a salad touch.
What I'm going to be doing is going to be right up your street. It's going to be absolutely perfect. Something really nice. Charred orange with some nice spiced almonds. Yeah. Shall I say spiced almonds or spiced nuts? It's your choice. What do you prefer, almonds or nuts? Nuts. I'm going to be doing some charred orange with some spiced nuts.
Well, it is an evening show, so
absolutely.
So, Chef, we're going to get straight to it. Are you going to do 2 courses?
Yeah, I'm actually going to do another course. I've got a beautiful bit of hake there, and I'm going to do pan-fried hake with a little bit of paprika and garlics and everything. I'm going to season that up. Put that into my pan, we're going to salty that off, and I'm going to serve that on top of some chorizo with a white bean kind of sauce cooked down, a little splash of sherry going in there because it's a bit Spanish, isn't it, eh? You look at it, you can't wait for me to see me wiggle, can you, eh? A little bit of that's going to go in there, and then after that, I'm going to be serving that with a lovely little parsley oil, so we'll talk a little bit about that. And then, of course, at the end, ladies and gentlemen, what I'd love to share with you all is one or two of you could come up with a nice question. You know, we're going to have a bit of a Q&A here. And if the question is the one that wins, there could be a little bit of something for you tonight.
I also love the shirt tonight, Chef, that you've got in honour for your ball coat. What is this, flamingos or flamenco?
Oh, no, it could be a flamenco, couldn't it? Eh? Because we're out to Spain. Flamingos. Do you like the flamingo? Yeah, a little bit of a birdie thing going on there. I think that's really lovely. Very lovely, yeah. We don't mind a bit of that, yeah, absolutely, going to be doing that. And I'll tell you what, isn't it amazing? I don't know about you, but last night when everyone dressed up, wasn't it a nice feeling, eh? There's nothing like putting on all your smart clothes and stuff like that. But I did have a bit of trouble with that button, didn't you, eh? I mean, there was bulges everywhere, weren't there? Do you know what I mean? It was just a little bit on the old tight side. Because when you get on board a boat and the food is amazing, you can't help it. You say, no, I'm not. All right then, you know what I mean? There's a little bit of that going on, which I absolutely love. And that's what we're here for. We enjoy the whole thing.
They say the salt shrinks your clothes. That's what we blame it on.
That's a good call.
It's a good excuse. Absolutely. Well, so I'm really excited because the way you describe food just gets everybody. You could describe a pot noodle and make it sound nice the way you do. So it's amazing.
So you take your pot noodle and you put this is Jean Christophe, put a little bit of truffle on top.
It's going to be tampering with your car.
We're next door to each other. We say hello and good morning to each other, don't we? And good night. Jean Aziz, let me in.
Let me out.
Get me off.
Let's get into the cooking. It's your turn. Of course. Ladies and gentlemen, any of you the very good ones, I'll be on standby if you need me.
No problem.
Any washing, any dishes, anything like that, I'll just be on the side.
Well, put that mop in.
Whatever you need, I'll serve the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, your very capable hands of Ainsley Harriott!
Thank you very much indeed. Lovely to see you all, ladies and gentlemen. And I really do mean when I start talking about doing something like charred orange, it's something that we don't really do very much. We don't char the fruit. Sometimes you might get a bit of warm fruit salad or something like that. So be able to take you on a little bit of a journey, be able to show you what you can actually do with oranges and give them a little bit a new life instead of just having them in a fruit salad or in your own jay in the morning. So we are going to start off with some beautiful oranges that I've got here. And I've got to say, what a fantastic display. Isn't this amazing, ladies and gentlemen? What do you think? Here comes Jackson! Jackson! Come, Jackson! All that you see here, ladies and gentlemen, all the food and everything's organised. You found out about it last night. All the staff here on the boat, the fantastic staff are introduced. But Jackson, as far as I'm concerned, is my main man. He's the food guy. He gets his staff to do all these wonderful displays. So, thank you, Jackson. Yeah, appreciate that. Okay, let's get cooking here, guys. All right? That's okay. It's all about heating up your pans. When you start talking about food and chefs start saying things like you're going to sear it off or you're going to char grill it or something like that, it really is all about getting your pans on the stove so it's nice and hot so you feel that the cooking actually starts straight away. Now, when you see the heat rise, you think, well, it's time for movement. You like that, didn't you? Yeah, all right then. Okay, let's do some movements here. Let me sharpen my knife. Isn't it lovely when you do something like that? Do you know, I was saying earlier on to a couple of the team when we were doing a little bit of rehearsal, one of the reasons I won 24 Ready Steady Cooks, I've got the what do you call it, the ownership of it, because the next person was Phil Vickery, who had 19, and James Martin had 17, so 24 on the spin I won. And one of the reasons is that when all the origins and everything was in, I take out the knife and start sharpening them. And then go, look what he's doing. And it all did make such a okay, let's cut down these. And I'm literally just going to be running my knife, I hope you can see this, down the side here of the skin. We're just taking that pith off all the way, remove the white too. And just run that down, and I'm not going to throw those lovely skins away, okay? That skin is going to make my lovely dressing very shortly. So just trim that down. That's it, very simple. Just look at the beautiful juice. I've got to tell you actually that one of my great things was when I was in Spain, you go to Andalusia, you go down to Seville. And you're walking around Seville, and one of the reasons is you're amazed. You've got these oranges hanging off the trees. Anybody been to Seville? Isn't it exciting? When you see those oranges, you want to start scrumping, really. Do you remember when you used to scrump when you were a kid? You used to go out there and you used to nick apples or plums or something. And as my brother said, it always tastes nicer when you scrump them, doesn't they? Eh? There's something about it. But of course, you wouldn't want to do that with the oranges in Seville, because they're really bitter, aren't they, eh? That's why they don't put it in marmalade. It's true. That's exactly why it goes in the marmalade. But there was something really, really beautiful about it. I absolutely loved it. I loved walking around, seeing all those fabulous citrus trees. I just think it's a real joy. Something really, really pleasing to the eye. And a beautiful city too. And I suppose, let's be honest, that's why a lot of us like going on cruises, because, you know, you get to see a few different places. It's not like you go in one place and you're having to stay there for the duration. It kind of moves you around a little bit. Okay, I'm going to keep all of those. Now, one of the reasons I'm cutting these a little bit early is because I actually want to cut through it like this. Look at what I'm doing here. And I'm just cutting that into slices because we want those lovely charred pieces of orange that I'm going to lay on my plate later on. But I want to extract just a little bit of the juice, because you put your oranges into the pan and all the juice in there, it just starts to separate them a little bit. So what we do is we're just cutting them like that. That's okay, beautiful. And laying them down like that so we can then char those off. Just leave them there for a couple of minutes. Just here, I've got another bit there, that's okay. Don't hide away from me. And then take the remainder of the juice and give that a bit of a squeeze. He's looking at me down there, he doesn't quite know. I'm up there and you're looking down there, aren't you? Oh, we don't want that. So, all your bits of juice, yeah, okay, we're not wasting that. Give that a little bit of a squeeze. That's lovely. Okay, we go again. Oh, extract all that lovely, lovely juice. And that is going to be the base of our fabulous dressing a little bit later. Got my pan over here. That's it. I know, all the people who like a kitchen are looking at me, oh, nice, he tidies up. If you've got teenage kids, you know as well as I do, they don't tidy up at all, do they? They don't, do they, my love, eh? And how many have you got? Just the one? Did he drive you up the wall quite a lot, or she? She drives you up the wall? Eh? Have you given her own phone? Big mistake. Yeah, I think a lot of us feel like that, don't we, eh? Big mistake. Hey. Alright then, whilst my oranges are drying out just a touch, I've got my pan on there. If you noticed, I turned on the heat, so the oil is just heating up just a touch. Okay, just a little bit of oil, and I've got my almonds going in then. These are, as you can see, blanched almonds. There's no skin on those almonds. Alright, and the idea is that you want to kind of brown them off a little bit. So, brown off your nuts. You like that, didn't you? Absolutely. Alright then, making sure that's on. That's really lovely. Okay, and then once we just add a little bit of heat to that, remember, once you start adding heat to nuts, it's going to release its oils. Alright, that's what happens. That's why we get that kind of little bit of caramelization, if you like, or it's browning up. And then to that, we can start adding a little bit. This is my nice spoon here. That's okay, here we are. And then we can start to add a little bit of spices to it. I said spice nuts. How are we going to spice them up? Well, we've got here a little bit of cumin, and we've got some coriander. Okay, so we're going to take a touch of that, sprinkle that in. That's it. Ooh, look at that. Oh. As soon as I go now, I just want to kind of relax a little bit into that. Look at that. Cumin, ground coriander. Now, a lot of us get a little bit funny about spices, but you know what, guys? Sorry, I've also got a touch, just a touch there, of chilli going in there too. That's lovely. Okay. Oh, you can't smell it now, but believe me, can you see the smoke? Oh, lovely. That's really, just turn that down just a touch. Now, just to say to you, you know, all these lovely spices, they're really good. They're antioxidants, that's it. I was going to say antitoxidants, but they're antioxidants. And they're really, honestly, it's fantastic. My mum always used to say, good for your gut and all those type of things, and really good for things like, you know, lowers cholesterol and stuff like that. The nuts especially. Hey, read up about these things. They're really, really fantastic. All right, and then also to that, I've got a little bit of honey. Let's get that in there and drizzle it in. Enjoy the cooking moment. Look at that. There we are. A little bit of a swizzle going on there. Oh, can you hear it? Can you hear it now, eh? Lovely, lovely, lovely. Let's get a little bit more of that going in there. All right, then there we are. Look at that. Absolutely lovely. Love that. Absolutely gorgeous. Beautiful. There we are. And that's simple. All right, and literally just allow those nuts and of course the spices and everything just to kind of attach itself a little bit, all right? And then, once you get to that stage, look at this, guys. Just give that another 30 seconds. I'm going to pop that onto a bit of greaseproof paper or parchment paper and just let it sit there for a bit. And after a while, that will solidify and you'll be able to chop them up and you've got the most wonderful little sort of caramel effect going here. Have we got this on camera? I don't know. Can we get a camera over here? You can see these going. Look at that. Do you see them all lovely and sticky and gooey? All right, that's what we're looking for. Just give that. I'm going to spread them out. And one of the reasons I'm going to spread those out is because I want them to cool down as quickly as possible, so we're chopping those up soon. All right? So we've got that. That's brilliant. Let's pop this out of the way. That's it. That's it. I don't want to put it straight onto a surface and burn anything under there, because it's all very, very nice. Now, here we go. A little bit of de-sweating going on. Okay? Would you like a sweaty tissue? No? Perhaps you could send it home to your daughter. Oh, darling. Oh, love. Oh, I'll do this and I'll start throwing it. I feel like Tom Jones. Do you remember him? My mum used to cover her face when he was on TV like this. Oh, what's he doing? Oh, it's not unusual to be loved by. That's okay. No, I'm not going to hand out that tissue. All right then. You wouldn't mind though, would you? Let's turn that one off. Okay. That's off there. This is this bad boy over here. Let's just turn him up. That's okay. I'm going to turn that up. So probably we're looking at a fairly high heat here, guys. Okay, because when you start charring something off, you want to char it. That means it goes into the pan and straight away it hits the pan. You don't put it into a cold pan and wait. All the juice starts to run out, and then you're waiting forever. And more importantly, you lose your confidence. All right. So it's getting the pan nice and hot. I'm touching it. Don't try that at home, of course. Except not that really lovely and hot. Now, what? I've got to put this up. Do you want to put it in there? Do you want to put it in now? Do you want to put it in there? Yeah, oh yeah. Okay, here we go. Let's get that pan nice and hot. There you go. And in. That's beautiful. That's it. That's it, straight away. Just having that sizzling moment. Do you want to put your hand up? What is it, darling? Say that again. You want to try it? You'll have to come to my house to try that. Did you say you want to try it? Oh, I wish I could. We're not allowed to share the food, but I'd love to be able to. But it's in the Mediterranean cookbook that I do, so you'll be able to get that. Yeah, boy. We like a bit of that, eh? Every time we like something and I say, yeah, boy, can you answer me, yeah, boy? All right, listen. Okay. If I lift up, say, yeah, boy. That's what we like, all right. All right then. I said to you about my look. I've got some my orange juice in there. I've got some fresh thyme. I grew up with my mum. My mum actually, let me just get that heat just a little bit more. So I'm using, normally I'm just with gas, but I'm just trying to get that temperature absolutely right. I grew up with my mum growing fresh thyme. She was wonderful in terms of her sort of horticultural, for want of a word, skills. She was a real gardener, my mum. I can't tell you, she grew roses, and it was the envy of the street, you know, because it's all about, you know, oh, look at Pepe's roses and all that type of stuff. And she also grew wonderful sort of vegetables and stuff. We had pears in the garden, we had an apple tree. It was so, so lovely. And, you know, as a child, you kind of think, oh, Mum, do I have to go and tidy up this? And now I'm doing those things. Now I love my garden. I really love it. And she used to grow lots of fresh herbs too. That's what I have here. I have some fresh thyme. All right, I've just taken a bit of that. I'm going to just take a little bit of those beautiful leaves, fresh thyme leaves. I'm just going to chop them ever so slightly. Right down my knife there. There you go. And a little bit of that going into the orange juice, okay? Beautiful. Let's have a look. Oh, look at that. I can see a little bit of caramelization on the end. That means the juice is coming out, the sugar's beginning to kind of release itself, and we can start to turn over our beautiful charred piece of orange. Can you see that, guys? Can you see them beginning to char up beautifully? All right. There we are, beautiful. Just lovely, that's it. Just char. Okay, I'm going to actually turn off that heat now, just the residual heat to warm the base of that. The charring on top is fantastic there. Back to that lovely dressing. Okay, we've got the fresh thyme leaves in there. Wonderful. Again, medicinal qualities flowing through there. Really, really good for you. Fresh herbs are fantastic, all right? And then to that, some olive oil. I think I've got some olive oil on the shelf here, actually. Yeah, a little bit like, it's like going in someone's kitchen, that really, isn't it, eh? Yeah. And we like a little bit of that. Here we are, ready? Do you remember this? Oleo roll. That's okay. That's it. A good 3 or 4 tablespoons of the old olive oil going in there. Lovely. And then to that, I'm going to do a juice of half a lemon. That's it. Roll that. Yeah. What happens when you roll it? What happens when you roll it? It gets big, you release the juice. All right, yeah, boy. Yeah, boy. There you go. A little bit of that going in there. Beautiful. Oh, lovely. Oh. There you go. I don't need to go to the gym, you know. I just cook food and everything starts happening. That's it. There you go. Okay. April. Don't use that one. I'll use this. This is fine. Okay. All right. So we started off with the. Let's find that loop. Where is it? There you go. I knew it's somewhere there. You know, when you fiddle around. So we've got the thyme in there. We've got the orange juice. We've got a bit of lemon juice in there. The olive oil, very essential, extra virgin olive oil. A little bit of honey too. Just kind of add a touch of sweetness there. That's okay. If the boat moves, I move. If you know what I'm saying. All right then, and a little bit of Susie salt. What goes on top of Susie salt? Percy pepper. What did you do with your childhood, you lot? There you go. It's not much of a Percy pepper though, is it? Let's be honest, eh? That's it, lovely. There you go. Have a taste. Always have a taste. You're in charge of this, you know. Oh yeah. Lovely. My partner's here with me. I brought my partner with me on this lovely trip, and I made this for her. And I said, darling, I've just got to test this again. I haven't done it since I did the books. And so she said, okay then. And she said, oh, wonderful. She really, really liked it. She never had oranges like this before. And with the thyme and everything else, everything just comes together quite beautifully. Especially, look at these almost set now. Look at that, look, see? That's it. Can you see that? Almost set, like a bit of a caramel going on in there. I'm going to peel some of those off, chop them up, and put them on top. Now, before I start that, okay, oranges, fantastic, ready to go. I'm going to get my other pan on. Remember I talked about getting that heat going? When you start cooking and stuff like that. So, got my saute pan on here. I'm just going to turn that up there. So when I come to it, I put my oil and my shallots in there. That's just going to really start to cook instantly. All right, so it gives us enough time to, excuse me, have a little bit of a chat at the end, all right? Beautiful. All right, time for another tissue moment, I think, don't you? You keep smiling. Here we are. Come and do it, darling, come on. Come and have a dab. Come on. Come on, babe, come on. There you go. Yeah, you know what he said? If you unlock it, I'll get you a picture. Go on, unlock it. He's good with his chat lines, isn't he, eh? Oh, lovely, 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 lovely. Ladies and gentlemen, let's do this now. Okay, beautiful. All about presentation. Very, very important. All right, how are we doing for time? We've got about 20 minutes, have we? That won't take long, there. Fantastic. Here we go. So we've got our beautiful thing here. I'm going to use a few of these. I've got a few of those lovely rocket leaves. And just casually assemble a few of those on the base there like that. Okay, that's fantastic. Beautiful. Here we are. Let's get some of these beautiful pieces of charred orange here. fantastic. Yummy, these. Fantastic. Beautiful. Okay, we've got some endive here, which I think are really, really lovely. Love a bit of that. Alright, just a couple of those, just casually do it, you know, you don't want to get too restauranty, but you do want to make sure that things start to kind of take on an appearance. You're thinking, oh yeah, that looks really, really lovely. Okay. Fantastic, there we are. Maybe one at the back there. Looks like it's going to take off in a minute. That's okay, fantastic. There we are. Not too concerned, make sure that's there. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay. My lovely, these, look at these. I'll get these bad boys off now. Okay, it's supposed to be wax paper, but it doesn't matter. Another 3 or 4 minutes would have been really lovely on there, but it doesn't matter. There you go. I think that would be enough there. There we are. Oh, there we are. Fantastic. Okay, I'm going to take our nuts here and sprinkle on the top here like that. So you get that wonderful flavour, the intensity of the beautiful spices coming through. Then you've got a little bit of chilli in there too. Get another spoon. There you go. And just running that like that. I'll tell you what, I've got a pomegranate. Can we have some pomegranates? Do you like pomegranate? Yeah? Do you like pomegranate? Yeah, boy. Boy, yeah, boy. All right then. There we are. We'll get a pomegranate. We'll give it a bit of a slap. There we are. What I mean by that is we're going to take that. Okay, so here. And out come your lovely seeds. Can you see that? I'm going to take some of those and just pop them on the top like that. Really, really casual. Look at that. Absolutely lovely. Bit more dressing maybe. Just a touch more of that. And there you have it, guys. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, that's my charm. Orange with spiced nuts. Absolutely. Let's put it here so we can get a lovely little shot of that later on. Okay, so you can see that. Just fantastic. Everybody's just going to love that. Okay, let's move across now. And let's move on to my beautiful, give my hands a bit of a wash here actually, my beautiful hake. Okay, this is my pan-fried hake with a hint of paprika. Actually, I'm going to tell you what I've got in my lovely dusting here. If we get a shot of this, can we get a little shot of that? Okay, we'll wait for the camera to come over. They move it nice and slowly. It's nice when something moves slowly, isn't it? In there, I've got some smoked paprika, I've got a bit of garlic powder, oregano, fantastic. Okay, and we also have a little bit of salt in there too. Alright, and just all I'm going to do is take my fish, and I'm using hake, as I said here. Here it is, look. Beautiful bit of hake. And hake, one of the reasons I particularly like it, especially when you're putting it on top of like a casserole-y type thing, i.e. like a little bit of a stew, and here I've got chorizo that I'm going to be putting into it. I talked about the cannellini beans a little bit earlier on. All of those things are going to go on the base of that. And the reason I like hake is because it's fish that when you put it in the pan, it firms up a little bit, okay? Cod, sea bass can be a little bit delicate sometimes. Love the hake. A lot of chefs love it when they're doing this type of thing. So I'm just going to ease that in there like that. Okay, beautiful. I think 2 pieces of that. Shall I cook all 3 just in case? Yeah, boy. Yeah. People are finding out about that. Okay, love a bit of the hake. There we are. It's dusted. You can see that little touch of the older smoked paprika in there. Just intensifies the flavour of that a little bit. And also makes my tea towel very red, but who cares? Okay, let's have a little bit there. We've got 2 of those going. Beautiful. Let's just increase that heat there, touch. Fantastic. Okay, here we are. Alright, here we are. Mm-hmm. There we are. Beautiful. And we're going to cook that off too. So that's looking good. So we've got two little things going here. Let's brown it straight away. Let's reduce that heat a touch. Beautiful. Okay, so here it is. Going to take our hake into our pan. Only going to take a, literally guys, move that around a little bit. Only going to take 3 or 4 minutes each side. So once I start cooking this off and I turn that over, I'm just going to leave that, again, the residual heat, just to finish this off, alright? And crack on with the other pan here, a little bit smoky. That's it, turn that down a touch there. Alright, and then to that, I've got some chopped shallots here. Let's finish chopping those bad boys up here. There we are. Okay, there we are, beautiful. Mmm. Oh, yeah. I know, keep dripping then, my darling, but I can't get up to you again. That's okay. It is nice and warm though, isn't it, eh? We complain at home when the weather gets a bit hot. I just love it. I love it. The garden doesn't love it so much. I've got to get out there and do a little bit of that, but here you go. A bit of shallots going in here now. Okay, a touch of chopped garlic going in there too. That can go back on the heat. A couple of knobs of butter there, just for richness. Right. And then I've got some chorizo. Absolutely lovely. Are you all familiar with chorizo? Yeah? It's something that, years ago we weren't too sure about it, but then you suddenly think, oh, it's great, and they started putting it in salads and putting it in stews and putting it in things like, your pizzas and stuff like that. And it just suddenly becomes one of those kind of familiar things, that lovely smoky flavour that you get. That's it. Let's get about good 2 or 3 of those. But do remember though, guys, some of them are already cured. All right, what I mean by that, they're already kind of been put into the smokehouse, and you can eat those ones straight away. That really is very sort of edible from the packet. But there are others like this, which is the raw one, that you do need to cook. So make sure you know what you're buying, all right? That's it. Beautiful. Fantastic. There we are. Now that's looking good. Here we go there. Say that, darling? The microwave's done. I know they put a little bit of sound on there, so bloody hurry up, mate. That's what they're saying. We don't mind, don't do we, my love? A little bit of smoked paprika going in there, just a touch of that. Okay. That's it. Now, let's get some real heat on that now. Now we can really start to cook and get that going and release all that lovely flavour that we get in with the chorizo. Fish is looking good. That's okay. Remember, we're going to come out there and we might be asking you a question or two. So if you've got a nice question and you can bring yourself a bottle of bubbles to take to your bed, that'd be quite nice, eh? I know you want to take something else to bed with you, wouldn't you? Looking at your face. There you go. Beautiful cannellini beans. That's going in there too. That's it. Fantastic. Love that. So just let that cook down a little bit. Okay. And tidy up as I go along here. That's alright. Are you enjoying yourself? Yeah, isn't it good? It's just nice because what I like to create that feeling that you just come round to my house and I'm cooking something for you in the kitchen. Do you know that feeling? And you say, oh yes, he cooked us a lovely, beautiful bit of hake that sat on top of this wonderful chorizo and white bean stew. Oh, lovely, look at those. Yeah, they're looking good. Okay. Look at that, beautiful. Bit of smokiness and bit of charmness going on there. Fantastic. Woo, woo, woo. Now, what I'd like to do, I want to get this really, really hot, because I'd like to do a little bit of flambe. Shall we have a little flambe going in a minute? Hey? We might have to take down the lights a bit, wouldn't we? So we take down the lights so you can see fire. All right then. Oh, that's it. Look at these, beautiful. You see these tomatoes green here? Haven't you enjoyed the flavour of some of these wonderful foods that we get here on board, eh? Isn't it nice, eh? Oh, lovely. Let's just cut that out. I'm going to take a little bit of that out. Sometimes there's something really pleasurable about watching someone chop something up, isn't it, my lovely, eh? You just see them, oh, how do they do that? Oh, lovely. All right. That's okay, beautiful fresh tomatoes going in there. Look at that. That lovely. Yay, green peppers! What were you? Were you a red tomato? Okay, let's hear it for this. Who was a red tomato when we did Ready, Steady, Cook? There's only a few of you. Who's a green pepper? That's only about 10% of you. Who's a red tomato? Come on! Green pepper? She likes a bit of green pepper. Good luck to you, darling. There you go. Oh, look at this. This is really, really lovely. That's coming together. That's fantastic. Now, I've turned my fish off. That's really looking good. Coming towards the end of that now. A little bit more tomato, I think, going in there. That's it. And I loved... Think about Ready, Steady, Cook, you know. It was one of those programmes that... I'll never forget, Fern was... the lovely Fern was offered a job by ITV at the time, and it was BBC that Ready, Steady, Cook was on. And she said, I'm just doing this programme, she said. It won't be around for very long, she said, because it's, it's just a couple of chefs cooking, and they're given a bag of ingredients for £5, and they're supposed to, cook, and then we vote on it. But my word, was it a fantastic success. And believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, it ran for 16 years, nearly 2,000 shows. Isn't that incredible? That's quite amazing. There we are, beautiful. Okay, that's looking good. Let's just tidy up here a little bit as we go along. All right. And I've got a bit of lemon that I've cut already, haven't I? Yeah. I want to take this lemon here and just squeeze on the top of the fish there like that. All right. That's beautiful. Wonderful. That's what you want. Okay, you've turned it over, it's started to cook through, and a bit of lemon just seeps into it. All comes together quite beautifully. There we are. Okay. Now we're talking. Now we're talking. Dear. You want a flambe, didn't you? You're looking forward to this. Hey? Let's run down, need a little bit more heat. I'll tell you what we'll do, is we'll get that pan going here, and we'll have a separate flambe there. Because that pan's not quite wide enough to get everything in there. But over there, if I just take those out. Put those in there for a minute. Okay. And that get nice and sizzly, and then we'll start to have a little bit and get a little flambe. And then, of course, the lovely flavour I can then add to that. That'd be absolutely beautiful. Oh. Are you ready for this? Do I hear a yeah boy? Yeah boy, but whilst it's on fire. Yeah boy. Okay, here we go. Let's go. Oh yeah. Just in case, son. Just in case. Just in case, I've got all that lovely flavour in there. I'll tell you what was to do there. Just pop that in there like that. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful. Okay. How are we doing for time? Are we all right?
We're all right. We've got about 5-10 minutes left to go. It's smelling delicious out here. Like the front row down here. Smell good?
Yeah. Oh, lovely it. We could get in. What about the back row here, eh? What about the cheap seats up there, eh?
I think they can smell a casino. I think that's
All right, then. We're going to serve up now. All right, and then we can get some lovely questions from our audience if you want, Dan.
What's that, sorry? Let's get some questions, yes?
Yes,
Let's do so.
audience.
All right, who's got a question down here for Ainsley? I'll come down to the front row and get the microphone over to lovely lady in green. What's your question? What's your favourite hand gesture? I think when you're in a good mood is what she's referring to. Not when you're stuck in traffic.
I'll just put some salt in it. What's my favourite hand gesture? I suppose it is something like that. You know, when you see me being sort of quite exuberant, if you like, let me dabbing down again, so at least I look a little nice looking at it. When you see me doing that and sort of being quite creative, one of the reasons that happened, my mum was a little bit like that. She used to dance to a bit of Nina Simone in the kitchen and stuff like that. My baby just cares for me and all that type of stuff. And when you get that, when you grow up with that, you feel that there's a bit of flair that's going on. There's something, and I always say to people, you know, we are. Let's just turn that down a bit. There we are. That's it. Beautiful. All right. We are a kind of product of our families, aren't we? And so therefore, that's it. Just look at this, guys. Look, can you see that? That's beautiful. That's just fantastic, yeah. Okay, and the other thing is we've got a beautiful bit of chili oil. So I think that kind of, that little bit of something that you see in me when you see me do that or shake it up, that's just mum. That's my mum coming out of me. So that's probably, you know, my favourite one is a little bit of this or a little bit of that type of thing, okay?
The Caribbean flair.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've got a question over here. Hello, sir.
What chef inspired you all them years ago?
What chef inspired you all of those years ago?
I know, if you were in the theatre, the other theatre upstairs the other night, I've got a similar thing asked, and it was definitely the Graham Kerr, the Galloping Gourmet. I just, when people sometimes say to me, I got home from school and I really loved watching Ready Steady Cook. Well, I got home from school and I loved watching the Galloping Gourmet. I just think he had this way of the energy that he gave to people and the way that he engaged with the audience, because there was a live audience there. It didn't happen before on television, or it hadn't happened on television. So it was genuinely exciting. Love that.
I tell you what is very exciting, Chef. They always say you should never meet your heroes because they're never always the same in person. But what I've absolutely found a delight this cruise is meeting you and knowing you're just as awesome, if not more crazy in person. That's true. And this is all right because we've done rehearsals, we sat there doing planning meetings, and even at 9 o'clock in the morning over a bacon and egg sandwich, you've had a laugh this cruise.
Oh, we have. we have. Have we got a shot of this over here? Can I get a little shot of this? Okay, yeah, looks a bit like a red blob there. Let's clean it up anyway.
It looks delicious here. I think it's just
it's so lovely. I've got a lovely bit of parsley oil here, guys. And literally, I've just taken that parsley, you pound it down. You want to get that vibrant green colour. You blanch the parsley off first, literally for seconds. And then we refresh it by refreshing it. That's running it under some cold water or ice cold water. And then you can hush that down, blitz that down in a little blender. If it's not in a blender, you can do it in a pestle and mortar. You get the most wonderful parsley oil when you add the olive oil, a little bit of seasoning to it. And we're literally just going to go across there like that, okay?
It's like an artwork down here.
It is like an artwork.
Wow.
A little bit of a little dusting around the edge of the plate there like that. And there you go, absolutely. And so what do we have here? We have that wonderful, you can see there, we've got that charred orange salad, remember? And we've got the spiced nuts with it, a little bit of pomegranate there. Make sure you put a little base, if you like, of the beautiful rocket. We've got some endive going there too. And over here, we've got the chorizo that's cooked down with beautiful shallots, the garlic, again a bit of smoked paprika in there, and the cannellini beans and the tomato, set on top of a lovely bit of hake, served with that touch of parsley oil, just to bring it up a little bit.
Well, they definitely say you eat with your eyes.
Yeah.
This is a feast for the eyes, the colours, the flavours, the smells.
Yeah.
I can't wait till cursing goes down and we can try it.
Do you know what it is? I think it's because we're coming near Spain, and we want to kind of capture that, and perhaps when we go to Bilbao or Santiago or something like that, get out there and really enjoy those flavours. Absolutely.
Amazing. We've got another question over here with Danny.
What was your mum's favourite dish that you've cooked for her?
Wow.
That's a good question.
Do you know what? I think it's probably still things like the red pea stew. You know, and people who don't know what a red pea stew is, we used to call it floating duvet stew, right? Because it was powerful. Cooked down with thyme, fresh coconut. The coconut went in there, and my mum put some pig's tail in there too, and we had some salted beef. Everything was cooked down, and it happened over about a day and a half. But my God, when she had the kungu peas or the red peas were soaked before to remove the toxins, then it was cooked down, and we absolutely loved it. And when I taste, I can't get it like my mum used to cook it. But when I taste it, or I smell it, or I see it on the menu, I tend to go for it because homely food is that warm, glowing feeling inside, isn't it? We all yearn for that, whether it be a Yorkshire pudding or whether it be a spotted dip with custard or something like that. It's something just reminds you of home. There's nothing better.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more. Another quick question over here with Erin. Who have you got over there, Erin? Hello, sir.
Hiya. When you're on registered cooking and people have to cook things very quickly, was there anything ever produced that really wasn't that nice when you had to kind of...
I didn't have to bloody taste it, that was my advantage. Do you know what? I suppose when you are talking about, like, all of us are skilled in our jobs, all of us are able to, and that's why we do what we do. We do it well, especially if it's someone like Jackson, who's started here as I think he was an assistant kitchen hand, and now he is the head chef 24 years later. It's because you get to know something, you feel passionate about something, and you know what? You don't tend to make mistakes after a while, especially with the chefs that we had on Ready Steady Cook. There might have been, on the odd occasion, a bit of chicken that was undercooked or something like that, or there might have been panic stations like Brian Turner. Forgot to use a bag of rice, so he heated it up and put it into a sandwich. And of course, you might as well serve 2 pieces of bread and butter because all the rice just fell out. But the reality is that when you are good at your job, you very seldom screw up because you anticipate it. And great chefs, your nose will tell you something. You'll think, better do that, or that's burning, or something's happening, and you attack it. Or when I took over from Fern in 2000, and I did it for 10 years, 2000, and we did it for another 10 years. When I took over from Fern, my producer used to say, leave them alone. I couldn't help myself, because if I was walking past one of the chefs and I saw something burning or something not quite right, I said, Nick or Brian or Anthony or whoever it was, I said, hey, check that out, chef, that's not looking too good, and I'd walk away. But that was just a way of, oh, thank you, chef. Bang, they were into it. Do you know what I mean? So and I think that's one of the reasons that show was so successful, was because, there was lots of laughs and stuff going on, but it didn't go wrong. There might have been the speed, oh, quick, is he going to do it, that type of thing. But, when you 2,000 shows, there must have been something we liked about it, didn't we? Absolutely.
I think that's what I do. All right, have we got one final question up there? We'll take one final question to wrap up, and then we'll reset. Just a quick note: the second show will be a repeat of this one. So we've still got lots of great things still coming up tonight. The big band down the other end, Great British Pub Night.
Oh right,
you want to come and join us in the Princess Night?
Yeah, might do that afterwards.
And then late night tonight in here, Josh Daniels at 11:30. And then Chef, I invite you to come and join us tomorrow evening here in the theatre. We've got another great production show called Spotlight Bar with everything from Stevie Wonder to Michael Bublé.
Wow. That's a bit of Bublé.
Like a bit of Mickey Bubble.
I like a bit of Bublé, yeah.
All right, this gentleman down there, who's that? That's my friend Jordan. How are you?
We were talking yesterday about this, Ainsley. So I've got a piece of lovely looking beef sitting in my freezer.
A piece of what, love? Beef?
Boner.
Oh yeah.
Wait. You've got a freezer in your stateroom. How big is your stateroom? Really? I And also, just so you know, that is a safe. It's not a microwave. They're not having that trying to put food in that safe.
So obviously I want it to pick up the most flavour possible.
The most
flavours possible.
Oh,
So if
flavours.
it's frozen, it's not going to be at its best.
Yeah.
How would you advise me to just get some extra flavour out of that?
Well, you know what? Once you do put things into your freezer and it comes out and it starts to thaw out, you can see it. It gets a bit bloody. It starts to release some of those juices. So you want to try and introduce a bit more flavour into it. So definitely marinade. We're talking again a few lovely herbs, whether that be a bit of thyme, a bit of some bay leaf or something going in there. And why not? Do you drink alcohol?
All the time.
All the time, he says.
All the time.
He says all the time.
Bottle of wine, like a bird bourguignon or something like that. Flavour it up. You know, if I'm doing a barbecue or something like that, it's all about the marinade. You know, yes, there's something good quality meat speaks for itself. You want to get something that's well hung, great. But if you've got something in the freezer, yeah, boy. If you've got something in the freezer, how long have you had it in there?
About 2 weeks.
2 weeks? Oh, 2 weeks is absolutely fine. Whilst you've been away, that's great. Because after 6 months, you know, things start to break down, deteriorate after that. 2 weeks, absolutely fine. Take it out, chunk it up. A bit of, you know, get that going, get peppercorns going in there. You know, all those type of the natural things that are just going to introduce a bit of flavour to it. And just leave it there for a bit before you cook it. Then take it out of that, the wine and everything else. Flour it up, a little bit of salt and pepper and a bit of flour, toss it, fry that off here. And then you've got your beef stock, you can put your vegetables and everything in there, put your beef stock in there, put the red wine that you've been marinating in back there, bring it up to the slow cook. You're going to put it into the oven, and the longer you leave it in there, the tenderer it becomes.
There we go, we're coming around to your house for dinner when we get home. Yeah. Speaking of freezers, Chef, a question for myself. How long does a chicken typically last in the freezer?
Well, if you've got a breast of chicken or something like that, I wouldn't leave it there for more than a few months, really. You know, some people want to leave it for years on end and stuff like that. Well, you say, why? Why? You know,
The reason I ask is I put one in last night and he was dead this morning when I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself. Ladies and gentlemen, on that note, look at these two delicious dishes delivered to you in less than 45 minutes. I think it's been a pleasure and an honour. The one and only Ainsley Harriott. What a superstar! Ainsley's going to be with us to the end of the cruise. We're going to have an absolutely ton of fun. We've got you involved in a few things this cruise, haven't we?
You have, but we did promise the best question a bottle of booze, didn't we?
Which are you going to go with then?
Well, which what? I can't remember who did what. We had over there Ready Steady Cook. We have over there a mum stew. We had, who else did we have?
We have best hand gesture down here.
Best. She dabbed my head for me.
There you go. What a champagne for Ainsley.
Can you have a selfie with me? Darling, you just got a dabbed head with me.
We'll definitely have some time to grab one together
a little bit later. Thank you very much. Have a great one. Enjoy everything. Take care.
Let's do it one more time.